Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you ever wanna stay on a man's mind without running after him, understand one simple truth: real attraction ain't built on chasing. It's built on value. See, when a woman knows who she is, when she walks like she got purpose, when she talks like her time means something, that man starts thinking about her, even when she ain't around. You ever notice how people chase what they don't fully understand? That's because value creates curiosity. When you're not out here begging for attention, when you're not blowing up his phone, that man starts wondering what's keeping you so busy. That's power right there. You don't have to say a word. Your silence is doing all the talking. When a woman knows her worth, she don't chase, she attracts. That right there is the secret. See, value creates curiosity. You ever notice how when something's rare, everybody want to know more about it? When something's hard to find, people can't stop thinking about it. A high value woman moves. She don't need to post every detail of her life, need to call every 5 minutes. She don't even need to explain herself. Her energy says it all. Peace. She got confidence. She got standards. And a man feels that from a mile away. When she walks into the room, she don't even got to say a word. That man is already thinking, who is she? That's what value does. It makes people lean in. Now, when you know your worth, you stop chasing validation. You stop begging people to see you because you already see yourself. Realizing that not every compliment needs a response. Not every text needs a reply. Every man deserves your energy. Let's be real. A man can sense when you're desperate for attention. Feel it when you're trying too hard. But when you sit back, when you smile, when you let him come to you, changes the game. You flip the script. He starts thinking about you when he wakes up, wondering what you're doing, what you're thinking, who's making you laugh. That's how you stay on his mind, by not being so available. That you can't stay on his mind if you always in his face. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. Sometimes the best way to make a man think about you is to give him space to miss you. See, mystery beats availability every single time. When you're too easy to reach, too quick to respond, present every moment, you become part of the background. You blend in. But when you pull back a little, when you let silence do the talking, that man's mind starts racing. He starts wondering what you're up to, who you're talking to, what's keeping you so calm and confident. That's the power of mystery. It makes people lean in closer, trying to figure you out. You ever notice how a man gets more interested when he doesn't know what's coming next? Because curiosity drives pursuit. A man's nature is to chase to figure things out, to conquer the unknown. But when you hand him all the answers, there's nothing left for him to explore. Stop over explaining, stop over sharing, stop giving him your every move. Leave a little room for imagination. When you don't post everything, when you don't text first, when you keep your emotions in check, you create a sense of wonder. That's how you become unforgettable. Not by flooding his world, but by leaving gaps that only your presence can fill. A man can't miss what's always there. He can't forget what he feels he's losing. When you pull your energy back, you shift the balance, realizing that your attention wasn't something he deserved automatically. It was something he had to earn. Once a man starts working for it, that's when you become special in his eyes. You're not like everybody else who hands over their time and emotions without thought. You're selective. You move with intention. You're calm, but not cold. You're distant, but not detached. The sweet spot where your absence starts speaking louder than your presence ever could. Too predictable, the excitement fades. When you always say yes, he stops asking. When you have boundaries, when you have your own world, when you show that you enjoy your life with or without him, that's when he feels your power. Because now he knows you're not waiting on his call. You're not counting the minutes. You're living. And that mystery, that independence, that self-assured silence, it keeps echoing in his mind long after the conversation ends. A woman who gives just enough to be felt, but never too much to be taken for granted. That's the one who stays in a man's thoughts day and night. Confidence is the real love potion. It ain't always obvious. And it ain't something you can fake. You can't spray it on like perfume or post it online for likes. It's something that lives inside you, that walks in the room before you do. You ever seen a woman who doesn't say much, but everybody notices her? That's confidence. It's quiet, it's loud at the same time. It's that calm energy that says, I don't need attention to feel seen. A man feels that, and it shakes him up. He's used to women chasing, proving, trying to impress him. But when he meets one who'd do any of that, he starts thinking, what's so special about her? That's when she's already in his mind, without even trying, changes your energy. When you walk like you belong, talk like you mean it, act like you ain't competing with nobody, people treat you differently. You start attracting respect, pity. You start getting attention without asking for it. See? Men are drawn to confidence the same way they're drawn to success. They can't resist it. It's magnetic because confidence says, whole with or without you. That's the kind of woman who doesn't chase a man. She lets him come to her. She's not playing games. She's just standing firm in who she is. And that's what gets him hooked. Now, he's wondering what makes her so sure of herself. When you got confidence, your whole presence shifts. You don't get desperate when he doesn't text back. Panic when he pulls away. Start overthinking your worth just because somebody else doesn't see it. You already know you're the prize. You're not trying to be chosen. You're choosing yourself. And that energy right there, that unbothered glow, that peace in your spirit, that's what sticks in a man's long after the conversation ends. Because confidence leaves fingerprints. It makes an impression that lasts longer than beauty, longer than charm, longer than any words could ever do. A confident woman don't compete with other women, and she sure don't beg for validation from men. Her lane, and she stays in it. She builds her life, loves herself, and keeps her standards high. And the crazy thing is, the moment she stops chasing attention, that's when everybody starts paying attention. That's the irony of confidence. The less you try, the more you shine. You become the one that stands out, not because you're louder or flashier, but because you're grounded. You move with purpose. You know your worth. That's how you stay on his mind, by walking in a confidence that speaks louder than words. Every man around you, I'm not here to be noticed. I'm here to be remembered. Emotional control is power. And let me tell you where most people lose the game. See, a woman who can control her emotions, who doesn't react to every little thing. That's a woman who runs the whole show without ever raising her voice. A man might expect you to argue, to get mad, to chase answers when he pulls away. But when you don't do that, when you just breathe, stay calm, and let the silence do the talking, that man gets shook. Because now, he don't know what you're thinking. He can't predict your next move. You've taken the power back. That's what emotional control does. It flips the dynamic. You're no longer playing defense without even trying. See, reacting to everything gives the other person control over you. When you let a man see that his actions can make you lose your cool, he knows exactly how to keep you off balance. When you stay calm, when you smile and say less, that's when you become unpredictable. Unpredictable is powerful. You stop feeding his ego. You stop showing that you're bothered. You stop proving your worth through arguments and explanations. The moment you stop chasing closure and start protecting your peace, that's when you rise above all the noise. A man doesn't forget that type of strength. It gets in his head, thinking, how is she so calm? Why isn't she reacting? Did I lose her? That's when your silence starts working harder than any words ever could. A woman who has emotional control is untouchable. She don't panic when the phone goes quiet. Don't fall apart when things get confusing. She don't turn cold. She just stays still. And that stillness drives a man crazy because he can't manipulate it. You see, your reaction is what feeds his confidence. If he does something and you explode, he feels powerful. But if he does something and you stay composed, he starts questioning himself. That's when the balance shifts. You go from chasing peace to being peace. That's what keeps you on his mind. That grace, that maturity, strength that doesn't need to be loud to be felt. When you control your emotions, you control the situation. You start responding instead of reacting. You start choosing peace over drama. You stop letting temporary feelings destroy permanent self-respect. You realize that your power was never in making someone feel guilty. It was in showing that you can't be shaken. That's what every man remembers. Not the one who cried the loudest, but the one who stayed calm, smiled, walked away with dignity, because a woman who's mastered her emotions has mastered herself. And once you master yourself, you don't chase love. Love starts chasing you over presence. That's the kind of mindset that separates women who chase from women who get chased. When you got a purpose, when you got a dream, when your life means something outside of a man, you become magnetic, can feel when your whole world revolves around them. They can sense when you're waiting for their text, planning your day around their mood, pausing your goals, just to keep them happy. Yes, but when you got something you're building, something you're chasing, that has nothing to do with them. That's when they start paying attention. Because now, waiting by the phone, you're the one too busy living your life. You don't need to post about what you're doing because your energy already shows you're fulfilled. That kind of always obvious makes a man think about you nonstop. Now he's wondering how he can be a part of your world instead of being your whole world. When you start living with purpose, you stop begging for time because you already got your own schedule. You stop trying to fit into his life because you're busy designing yours. And that's what makes you powerful. A woman who's chasing her dreams, who's focused on her growth, building her future. That's a woman who doesn't need to chase attention. Respect without asking for it. Men see that. And it changes how they treat you. You go from being an option to being an inspiration. You stop trying to prove you're worth it. Your success, your happiness, your focus already prove that every single day. See, when you put purpose, presence comes naturally. You're not trying to force yourself into someone's life. You're not texting all day just to remind them you exist. You're out there making moves working on your craft, living a life that fulfills you. And here's what happens. The more you focus on your purpose, the more people start to notice you. Without you even trying, you become that woman he can't stop thinking about because you're chasing him, but because you're building something real. That's attractive, powerful. That's unforgettable. When you got a purpose, your energy changes. You walk different. You stop wasting your time on people who add to your life. You realize that love is beautiful, but it's not oxygen. You don't need it to survive. Living like your dreams matter more than your distractions. And when a man sees that, when he sees you hustling, smiling, growing, he starts to see you as the kind of woman he doesn't just want, but needs. Purpose. Driven women light up everything around them. You don't chase, you shine. You don't follow, you lead. And that's how you stay on his mind, not by being everywhere, but by being unstoppable in your own lane. Energy don't lie. And that's the real truth people forget. You can say whatever you want, you can post whatever picture you want, but your energy will always tell on you. A woman who knows she's the prize walks different, talks different, and moves different. Convince nobody she's valuable. Because her presence already does that for her. You ever walk into a room and see somebody who ain't even trying, but all eyes go to her? That's energy. Confidence mixed with peace. She ain't loud. She ain't desperate. She's just solid. This stays on a man's mind without chasing him because her vibe hits him deeper than words ever could. See, when your energy is right, people feel it before you even open your mouth. A man can tell when you're content with yourself, happy from the inside out, and that's attractive in a way makeup. Clothes, filters can't touch. You can't fake inner peace. You can't fake knowing your worth. Kind of glow comes from being whole, from healing, from choosing yourself. When you radiate that energy, needing attention, because attention finds you. Men notice that kind of calm confidence. It lingers with them. They start wondering what it would feel like to be around that kind of peace all the time. And that's when you got them. Not by chasing, but by being still, steady, and sure of who you are. When your energy is desperate, people run from it. When your energy is peaceful, people run to it. That's just how it works. You ever notice how when you stop caring so much, everything starts working out the moment you stop trying to control the situation? You let your energy speak for you. I can't resist a woman who's not trying to prove nothing. When you're content, when you love your own company, when you smile from a real place, that's when he starts thinking about you more. Because you're chasing him, but because he can't find that kind of energy anywhere else. Energy tells a story. It says, I know my value without you having to speak it. It says, happy with or without you having to post about it. It says, if you want to be in my life, you better come correct. That kind of energy can't be taught. It's felt. And once a man feels it, he can't forget it. It stays on his mind, in his spirit, even when you're not around. Real energy leaves a mark. It don't chase, it attracts. It don't beg, it inspires. A woman who knows she does have to run after love. Her energy calls it in for her. And that's the kind of presence no man can shake off, no matter how hard he tries.